Do you mean that relationally or do you mean that sexually?
Sexually, so that you understand women appropriately, so that you can identify. It's like, like we look at World of Warcraft, right? Like you got to kill the little like monsters or whatever. Like the shit wants to level
I
up.
thought we were talking about women. You went to World of Warcraft. This is the problem tonight for women.
And again, I mean, sometimes there may be an issue with my I don't know if it's the server, man. I've been trying to get people over to check it out, and the video may drop sometimes, man. So please forgive me. We gonna figure out how we can take care of those technical difficulties. But the main point I was trying to make is that whether a man is a great man in 2025 doesn't matter. Whether he's righteously, whether he's a righteous brother, he's an orderly brother, he's a communicative brother, he cares about the elderly, he cares about children, he honors men, women, and child in the Holy Trinity. A lot of that doesn't matter to today's women. A lot of women are looking for a man to finance her lifestyle and the direction she wants to go in life, even if it's to the bottom of a pit. You know, that's just being honest. Most women acknowledge that the better the man is, the better her life can be, the better her life can advance, and then she's empowered by being with a strong man. But a lot of sisters want the last word, they want their way, and they want control over a relationship, no matter what happens with that relationship, even if it hurts her, her children, and her future. She doesn't care as long as she has power over it, power over that decision. And I don't think women are innately like this. You know, people can disagree with me, but I believe it's within this current matrix, it's within this current social engineering and program of women today, where they're making women compete with men and be envious of men instead of acknowledging that everything men do is for a woman. You know, and I compare it again like to a candy store. The women are the candy. The business is run for men to buy candy and for investing in candy, and women, acknowledging that everything is about them, still want to be the owner, still want to be the person who's purchasing, instead of being the candy that they can just rest and just be a candy, and everybody, the whole world still revolves around them. The store revolves around them, the customers revolve around them, but they don't want to reciprocate wanting to be, when they want to be the store owner, when they want to be the customer, instead of just resting in their femininity. And what we do see in nature is that when they get power, they don't want to reciprocate. They don't want the responsibility, and it doesn't become a two-way street. They typically want everything, but doing bare minimum or nothing. And that's today's modern women. I, again, will keep professing there are beautiful women that have beautiful souls, that are dedicated to society, that are dedicated to their men and children. But I'm talking about the majority of the women that men are experiencing. The only way our society, our current relationships and families are going to sustain is if the quality of women transitions back to women who honor men, who honor family, who honor righteousness and order. Just because you become a high value man doesn't mean a woman's going to follow you, love you, and respect you. Like, we just got to keep that real. All right. That don't mean nothing.
How many women do you have your World of Warcraft?
Yeah, well, you got to kill the like little.
Do you hear that? That's the sound of all women drying up.
Or like, you know, you spar with a bunch of people in boxing, right? So that when you finally have that final match against the boss, like, you know how to appropriately, you know, duck and weave and, you know, do what you got to do to be able to win the fight. Because I do think, like, when it gets to marriage and long-term relationship, that's going to be the hardest thing for you versus just womanizing. So you need to understand women's strategies and proclivities and everything else like that. So I think having that number and having that experience will, number one, put you in a position where you're attractive, and then number two, give you the prerequisite knowledge and sexuality where women can't leverage sex against you anymore. Because so many guys are like, I got my, I'm going to do whatever she wants, and that's like the beginning of the end. You've
been talking with Robert. He says that a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. He says that. I'm like, Robert, you don't understand the dynamics of female-male interplay. But I will say, I get it. And then the Christian right prescription is, hey, you know what? The truth is people figure out sex, and the truth is people who are virgins who get married and then have sex, have fewer partners, are sexually happier. Now, maybe because they don't know what to compare it to.
They are.
But so what? Yeah. You know what I mean? I also think
ideally, just for clarity, ideally, if a guy and a girl can get together and be virgins, that's the best scenario.
So you would say that too?
Yeah, statistically speaking, that is the best way. But me being pragmatic and understanding how women are nowadays, where the average 21-year-old girl is going to have more sexual partners than the average 21-year-old guy, like, I can't in good faith tell guys to get married as a virgin and them not being destroyed because they don't understand female nature and how women are. And like, unfortunately, the church, religion, society, shame, all these different things that used to be in play back like in 1955 are no longer in play in 2025. And women have no reason to really sit there and submit to you and do what they're supposed to do because they're incentivized to not.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think? So I think you're right. We have identified kind of one of the problems in society.
Dry skin in your.
Is that what it is?
No, it's gone.
All right, thanks. Appreciate that. Yeah, well, I went like this. I scratched my nose right before we went on the show. Yeah, exactly. Do you think though that there is a way to incentivize guys to only look for the right women, and eventually this problem goes away because women won't be able to find any guys because they're not looking for women that are sleeping around. They're actually looking for people that have some character and some I don't know what the qualities in women that we've always looked for. So instead of incentivize like saying, hey, go out and sleep with 50 so you understand them, just don't play their game. Just find virtuous women, and therefore we will get rid of this problem by doing that.
The only problem with that is that so when women run game, what they do is when they find a guy that they like, they'll sell purity. And we all know, like, we sell success.
Seen those stories, yes.
So like my thing is like and this is another reason why.
Right, what about an app, a purity app? Follow me here. No, I'm just kidding.
You could ask some questions to it, and then I can.
Dating a water filter? What is that?
But yeah, like the thing is, you guys need to be able to identify when girls are lying to them and they're selling purity. And this is why I tell guys actually like date a girl for 6 months to a year before you ever like claim her and make her your actual girlfriend and actually getting serious, because you need time to see where she stands in her characteristics. And then another thing I tell guys is like, see if she does acts of service. Like, will she do things for you? And because a good woman is going to come in, see parts of things that you're doing that could be optimized. Like, for example, let's say you like coffee, right? But she shows up at your house, you don't have a good coffee machine. She just takes the initiative and buys you one, right? Yeah. Or she has a cup always ready for you when you wake up. Little things like that, and you don't even have to tell her. Like, that's a really good sign, because now she's becoming like almost, I always say men need to be problem solvers in the real world. Women need to be problem solvers in a household with the guy and making them better, so that they don't have to think about the little things, so they can go focus on the big things. That's where I think a woman is best. And people get mad at me when I say, oh yeah, she needs to basically be your assistant. But I truly do think like women thrive in that assistance role, because it puts you as the masculine leader and the dominant figure. It puts her as the subservient, which is what they want anyway. And she's helping you become better. And I think that's like the best way it can go. But guys won't be able to identify these types of women or be able to figure this out until they date them for a good amount of time and see where she stands with these types of things.
Do you think?
And that's the key. Most men aren't keeping their women. Most men aren't having long-term relationships with these women. Most men are speaking on our preference. We're speaking on a utopia. We're speaking on how it should be and how wonderful it could be if a woman actually gets on your page and if she's raised to be that way. But the problematic thing is, men can be sleeping with one woman, multiple women, but we're not getting their cooperation. We're not getting their submission, and we're not getting women to want to actually engage in families. Typically, women are about themselves. So the only way you're going to win is if she wants you to win. That's the strategy. That's the only strategy we have, unless we're going back to a so-called patriarchy or archaic ways and doing it by force, even though we can't even see if she actually loves us when we do it by force. But that's the only way we'll do it. Or we actually give them this liberation. We put them on the island. We put us on the island, and they have to beg for our submission, beg for our authority, beg for our support and love, because the playing field right now is she's looking for someone who's going to finance her life, who's going to let her lead the direction of the relationship. And she can't find that, she pick herself. And we're seeing what's happening in most of these relationships. We're having less families, we're having less babies, we having less sex less sex than any time in any generation. The data is showing now 2 people are having less sex. We're not having actual relationships, what we coexisting. Men and this paying for sex thing is not realistic. Men still pay for the women they love. They still pay for sex. And as a man, you're going to finance and pay for a woman's peace, or her chaos. And that's what's really happening. You either find a woman you pay or give money to invest in that gives you peace and the ability to build with you, which I can concur with Myron, or you're going to find chaos and destruction. And a lot of But for the majority of what's going on, most of these relationships have no longevity, and we have to be humble and acknowledge that people we have children with and raise children with have to want to invest in families instead of themselves. And we're coming to a place where maybe we do need to watch our delivery. Maybe we do need to watch our approach. Maybe we do need to show grace. Maybe we do need to show love, but we have to be tough where it's needed as well too. And we have to be able to be bluntly be adamant about telling the truth. And if they knock it down, they knock it down. But I'm trying to do my best to master my delivery and master the actual solution and master the intention of what we're trying to do, because I don't want someone to be able to point out and go, see, Ali really didn't like women. Ali really didn't like men. Ali didn't really like families. He didn't really want us to come together. He wanted us to fight. He wanted to make money and make a brand off of having a divide of men, women, and children. And that's not my approach at all either. Like I want men and women to come together. But if we can't tell the truth, and if there's pushback on the truth, then how can we even have families? How can we create healthy relationships? You know, how can we maintain a direction where both the man, woman are coming together so that the children can strive? You know, if women aren't looking for actual leadership and good men, if we're going to still have gender divide, if we're still going to have these so-called gender wars, we're going to have broken families, we're going to have single parent homes where we raise kids to pick themselves. And that's why we have such a prominent issues that surround identity crisis, the LGBT behaviors, self-hate and narcissists, over-emotional men and women. No one ever commits and we all leave. And that's what's happening. We're committing to ourselves instead of committing to each other. But that's being birthed by the conditioning of men, women, and children more immensely in the women. You know, they're our first teachers. So until men and women are on the same page, none of this stuff is going to work, brother. It don't matter how great of a man you are. Respectfully, again, to both brothers.
Because you said women's nature, and again, we would agree on the descriptions, maybe not the prescriptions. Sure. I still think finding a chaste woman is ideal, but I also agree, blind spot, women lie in the modern world because sometimes they're going against their nature. Their nature is not to be, you know, is a term you use, hypergamy. Hypergamy.
Yes.
Okay. They don't want to be sluts, put it that way. They don't want to be dime store whores. A lot of them don't, right? But they've been told that it's empowering. And so sometimes women are trying, the same way that guys who simp and say, hey, I'm soft, I'm sympathetic, I'm sensitive, they're trying to fill an archetype that they have been told is appealing, which actually flies in the face of our nature sometimes. Yeah. And we see more people who are sort of acting anti-naturally, women acting masculine, acting tough, boss babe, and men, and I don't want to use the term beta, but men acting weak and subservient, and no one's happy because it's all a fake out.
No, you're actually precisely correct. I say it all the time. Feminism is the blue pill for women, right? So for men, right, blue pill guys are simps, you know, feminine, think that women can lead and, you know, they can, you know, do certain masculine things and they can like defer that to her. Like, yeah, it's okay if my girl like bosses me around and tells me what to do, like, because they're idiots and they don't understand female nature. Same exact thing with women. Women, the blue pill for women is feminism and thinking that chasing a career, acting like a man, being masculine, challenging your husband or challenging your man is like, you know, empowering. That is the blue pill for them. And they bite it even worse because advertisers and society in general, like women are easier buyers. Like they're the target demographic for advertisers because women are the consumers. Yep. They like to extract value. And with them, they are, when I always say like, when you lie, women buy. Mm-hmm. And that's what they do. That's why, like with the Gillette commercial, we can even put in the clip here if you guys want.
Which one? The tranny mustache one, or the one the guy's like, you shouldn't actually tell the woman she's hot? Which one?
Boys will be boys.
The one, yeah, the boys will be boys one.
Yeah.
Boys will be bullying, a problem among kids here in Indiana.
We can't hide from it. We can't laugh it off.
Who's the daddy? What I actually think.
Making the same old excuses.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And in that commercial, I love to use that because that commercial exemplifies the problem that we're in. We have a men's razor company, right? A men's razor company literally shitting on their target demographic of customer to appease to women. And if that doesn't prove that women are the, you know, majority consumers and they run, we live in a gynocentric society. I don't know what else does. And I always tell people like, well, they're like, oh, why is that a big deal? Men do need to be better. A lot of guys are, you know, toxically masculine, whatever. Cause that was one of the commercials that pushed this whole toxic masculinity thing. And I'm like, all right, well, what if Victoria's Secret did a commercial saying, hey, stop being sluts. Stop cheating on your boyfriend. Stop being attention whores on Instagram. Like, start making those goddamn sandwiches. Do you think Victoria's Secret would have a problem? They probably would.
We'd all be losers because it would be out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't want that to happen. It's one of the few, like that and Yankee Doodle candle store. Those are the only reasons I go to the mall, usually by myself. One point I would say is I agree.
Spencer.
One fundamental difference though, and I think you would agree with this, but single men are very large consumers. Once they are in a nuclear family household, women are the consumers. So the marketing changes when they're single. Men tend to buy a lot of things, electronics, cars, toys, right? Sure. Once you're married, it's often women. And here's how I know I got a good woman. She's Latina, by the way, they're all nuts. But she buys men's razors. And I go, why? She goes, yeah. It's cheaper. It's the exact same thing. And that's how you know she's not a feminist, because women go, the pink tax, get a black razor, bitch.
Yeah.
You don't have to have 18 strips in Venus, people singing, doing synchronized swimming in the commercial. It's literally a tax on a color that costs more to produce and you pay more. You could just buy a plain black razor.
Yep.
And mine does. And that's why, you know, she doesn't have to cover up the bruising with makeup. But no, it's like
sometimes you gotta, you know what I mean? Hey,
I don't
know. Do.
But I will say, I do think a big part of it is recognizing women who identify that problem, because the truth is all women still have that proclivity of that. No matter what happens, but recognizing that, hey, we do tend to be more emotional. Hey, men are in positions of leadership. And the way I sort of present it when I discuss this with women is I go, you think leader, follower. There's no unit that exists in a business, in government, in the military where there isn't a hierarchy. So how about, hey, this guy's a general and you're a colonel? Yeah. Meaning everyone else is below you. Everything else in the household, everyone outside of your household is someone, your man will defer to you, just not when it's an issue of your difference of opinion, because he's the general, or he's the secretary of defense and you're a general, or he's the president and you're the secretary of state. Like, it's literally the next position from the top.
Absolutely.
But nowhere else do you go, we got two people calling the shots. Someone has to be a tiebreaker.
Yep.
And that's not dishonoring. That's as honoring as it can be outside of the one general.
Yeah. And I always tell people, like, you know, basically, like, she's like the consigliere, if we're going to look at like Italian organized crime or something like that. You're the boss, she's the advisor, right? And then obviously whatever, you know, obviously you make the final decision, but her input does matter to a degree. And obviously the longer you're with her, the more value she's added to your life, the more and more her opinion matters. But my biggest thing is I just want guys to be in a position where they're the leader, they're the final decision maker. She doesn't wear the pants in the house. When you're out in public, she's not embarrassing you, which is another thing. Like, she's, you know, you're self-deprecating like a simp, and she, you know, all this other stuff.
Like Steph Curry's wife?
Precisely.
Yes.
Dude, my soul died a little.
Yeah.
But that's the key. That's an MVP. He got a whole bunch of rings, championships, and he's not satisfied. Because I do agree with what the brothers are saying, especially what Crowder's saying in this position is women go against their nature. And I do believe that. I don't think women want to be sluts, but they see it as empowering in today's society. They see sexual liberation as empowering. They see feminism as empowering. And you see it under the mask of them always saying that they'd rather be masculine and they'll be feminine for the right person, but they're taking on the ideals of men. They're not taking on the ideals of women. But this is what society is telling them. Society is telling them you don't need a man. Society is telling them they don't need marriage. Society is telling them kids don't validate them, but they'll turn right back around and say that it validates men. And we know that it's hurting them because all the decisions they're making when they're picking themselves and living out their best lives is causing them trauma. They're admitting it. They say they got PTSD. They say they got to heal and look for self-love and happiness. And we say it over and over and over again, and we're going to keep pushing it. If you're living by yourself and it's bringing you brokenness and it causes you to break and is causing you to be by yourself and it's causing you to lose yourself, who do you think you should follow? You know, why do you tell us money doesn't mean anything? Our career is nothing. How we look and what we have means nothing. You know, like you shame us to be what you want instead of cooperating with what men want, and you allow yourself to be shamed. And I want to ask the ladies this, even the brothers, will the world be better if we shame men for what women want or shame women for what men want? Just think about that one, please. How would the world be better if we shame men into what women want or we shame women into what men want? If there's a man who will do what you want, but horrible, you will pick him. Is that better? Or a man that lays down the law, but will give you peace that you call born? Which one is better? Please let me know. You know, let me know how that works out.
Cook, I don't clean, but let me tell you, I got this ring.
Yeah, let me know how that works out. So that's the type of society we living in today. If you thought shame, if you fat shame, if you LGBT shame, if you shame anything that a woman is doing, if you shame the fact that she don't want to be a traditional wife who's looked at as a slave, she wants you to invest in her leisure life. Women actually on TikTok, YouTube are saying that if a woman's a traditional wife, she's a slave. But a man, he needs to be making $200,000, $300,000 a year so that he can give his woman a leisure life and hire a maid, hire a cleaner. Like what do a lot of women typically want to do today in a relationship? Like, how do you reciprocate? What is your responsibility? And we've been doing this for years now. So many women are still demanding the bare minimum for men and what they get out of a relationship, but they want the maximum for what women get out of the relationship. Y'all want us to be supermen while you get to be the worst version of a woman we ever seen in our life. That's not equality, and that's not fair. You know, let's keep it real.
It's like, I've had to take him to, I've gone to therapy, and you know, it's just, I was like, what? Your man's one of like the best at what he does on earth, and he's loyal.
And he seems to be a good guy.
He seems to be a good guy who
Man.
loves his kids. It's just like, oh my God, he'll take a call during dinner. It's like, is it the president of Nike?
Yeah.
Or
Crazy.
the president?
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
it's like, it's just absolutely nuts. So that's where I want guys in a position where like their girl's never doing something like that to them. And the only way is like when she, number one, she doesn't, you know, she sees you as a superior. And when she does talk about,
And real quick, she wasn't doing that to him. Tyrese's wife was being cooperative. Tom Brady's wife was being cooperative. Shamar Moore's woman was being cooperative. The Johnny Depp woman was being cooperative. You know what the worst part is that men aren't going to shame their mother. Men aren't going to shame their women. Men aren't going to shame their relationships. They keep what women are doing secret until they go public with it. So a lot of things maybe she was doing we've never seen because men protect their women, and it could be because of pride, and it's because when men see women doing when men and women see a woman doing man dirty, we ridicule and disrespect the man for it. We tell him he's not a good man. We tell him he's not capable of leading. He's not capable of getting a woman to be on his page, and he's not suitable for no woman. We'll derail it and go, hey man, we'll defame him, so he's not a real man. But if a man does a woman wrong, we'll shame the man. We'll tell him to be a real man. We'll tell him he needs to stop lying, abusing, and cheating on his woman. But as soon as a woman does something wrong to a man, we'll disqualify his masculinity and say he's not a real man. Really think about that. Society does its best to protect the reputation of so many women, even if they're disrespecting their men and their children. But we don't go out of our way to honor the men who are doing everything for majority of society, whether it's being builders, whether it's being philosophers, whether it's being protectors, whether it's implementing order and righteousness to have families, to have nations. Men aren't respected for that. That's what a man's supposed to do. But tell me what a woman's supposed to do. And tell me what a real woman is and what her responsibility is. It'll go really quiet, extremely quiet. It should be this, though. Shout out to my brother. It should be like that.
she should be excited and be like, oh yeah, I love him so much, blah, blah. And I can actually tell the way a woman talks about her man when he's not in the room tells me everything I need to know about the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
If she's like, you know, infatuated with him and she looks up to him and she's impressed by him, she's like his biggest cheerleader.
Building him up.
You know, that's how you know, like, okay, this guy has his stuff together. But when it's like that, where she's over here like bad mouthing him and complaining and stuff like that, it's like, dude, you don't have strong frame because your girl's over here saying this wild stuff about you. And the thing that kills me is like, yeah, like the guy is extremely competent and good at what he does.
Yeah.
Well, and that also goes back to Gerald's wrong point, which is, look, like it seems like he did everything right, and she still is miserable and ungrateful. As far as Steph Curry,
yeah.
No, I'm not talking about you. You've done everything wrong. What I'm saying is, but Steph Curry, no, you've done it mostly right. He got really lucky. His wife is awesome.
I got very lucky. Yes.
Yeah.
He just.
How long have you guys been together?
We got married in 2019, so 6 years.
Okay.
Into his 30s. You know, I'm not
late 30s.
Yeah, I was like, it's not
like
gonna,
how long were you guys dating before that?
We literally dated 1 year. We got married on our 1 year anniversary.
Okay.
We were late enough in life where kind of figured all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And everything lined up like we were talking about. Like she'll say to me, like, I can't believe these people were talking bad about their husbands. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know, like that same kind of stuff. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And Gerald knew that I thought he was going to be single for life. Where I was like, I don't know, I just need to give it up. That he was so excited when he was like, I want you to meet. Like, I think she's the one.
Strong dad.
Me?
And remember, I'm doing this video because they're not talking specifically about Black women right now either. This is happening with the majority of women across the board, across these nations, whether they're Arab women, Asian women, white women, Hispanic women. This is starting to happen with all races and nationalities of women. This ain't just a Black woman thing. Just like that man, he said that man thought he'd probably be single for the majority of his life. And majority of the men are being single because of what women are doing. You can go out here and have conversations with even young men and teenagers and ask them about the quality of the women, the girls they're encountering, the teenagers they're encountering, or younger men, the type of women they're encountering. And they'll all tell you the same thing. It's difficult to please a woman. It's difficult to make her happy. And a lot of these women they're finding sexually. These women are already being promiscuous and already having sex with multiple men, and men are still wifing them, but they already are establishing a falsehood of what they believe they can get from these women and men based on how society's actually going. Women aren't being raised to be wives. They're being raised to get their own money, to get their own house, to get their own bag, to lead themselves. They're not being raised to do what a man is telling them to do. That's looked at as toxic. So when you start breaking down all the other experiences of younger men, middle-aged men, old men, majority of men are having these experiences. It's not just black women, because that's something I'm going to tackle by what these men typically talk about as well too. But right now they're talking about women in general, so it can't just be black women.
Oh, her. Like, does she have a strong dad or
Very
like,
strong personality, dad. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So, okay, because what I've noticed with women like that just get it without you having telling them anything, 9 out of 10 times, strong father or a strong brother or uncle or somebody in their life that like put these values in them. Like, yo, you do not do this type of.
Well, and she was a woman of faith. Like, she was looking for somebody to lead, and that's why I was going to say one of the failures of the Protestant church has been feminism.
Yes.
Like, and I know you're Muslim. I'm going to talk to Jay Dyer here in the next couple of.
He's the Halloween.
Just remember, they talking about feminism and how it impacted the church as well too. This is just a black issue. And this is the thing that those two men lose me when they make it a black issue and they try to exploit the black experiences, negative experiences in relationships, and don't be honest about the fact that it's impacting other relationships. Feminism was started with white women, not black women, and the way it's drastically impacted society in general, it's started with the white woman and the white man. It didn't start with the black woman and the black man.
3 of the
yeah but that's one of the failures, like putting kind of inverting everything you described about women just a second ago, about kind of the role and that partnership is described in the Bible. That's the biblical prescription for it, but we've taken that and perverted it in the church, and nobody's happy because of it. Well, women aren't happy and men are not happy.
Have taken it and perverted that goes. No, and in the Protestant church, it's women who
and this is why I'm going to do this. Who is allowing feminism to impact our society in this manner? Who is allowing sexual liberation to impact our society in this manner? Who's causing the civil divide? Who's causing the religious divide? Who's causing the gender divide? Who's causing the nations to be divided? It has to be men in general, and it's the men in power. And on the Western side, it has to be Europeans. The European man is doing this to his men as well too. He's doing it to the men that look just like him. So if he doesn't care about how the way he's running society impacts his fellow brother, then you know he doesn't care how society is going to be impacted by and the rules and regulations he implements on how it's going to impact the black man. But if we talk about black on black crime, if we talk about the disposition of the black community, and white men, we watch how white men are saying to make America great again, and the white men are discussing how the policies, the laws, and how all these things and these regulations have impacted their society. You can't just point at black people and say it's their fault. We have to address the white man. We have to address the Arab man. We have to address the Asian man, and we have to address the men in power who are allowing all these things to take place. Just so I guess the actual men who would rise up to implement righteousness and order don't rise up. Because these things are occurring because men are allowing it. At the core, I'm not saying at the surface. Once we're all mindful of what's happening, if someone chooses to still weaponize that against someone else, then we put that burden on them as well too. But we're living in a society where it's incentivized for women to do what they're doing to men. Let's just be honest about that. By men in power.
And that is a failure of leadership from men. Yes. A lot of men didn't prioritize faith. And so women are the ones who take the kids to Sunday school. Women are the ones who are often, so the Protestant church has catered to them. Yeah. And very much. We've read, it's a real problem.
The Protestant church did what? Stop talking about what the government did. Stop talking about what the news did. Stop talking about what the schools did. Stop talking about what the corporations did. Stop talking about what the state did. Stop talking about what the nations are doing. Say it's the white man. Because if you're going to say there's black on black crime, make sure you address the white on white crime. Make sure if you're going to address the black on black crime, and address the white on black crime as well too. If we want to get even deeper into how the water is tainted, how the food is processed and tainted, how the quality of life is tainted, how the cost of living, how inflation is impacting humanity, how the rich is still getting richer, the poor is getting poorer, people can't pay for food, people can't pay to rent, people can't pay their mortgages, people can't purchase a car. the livelihood of people are drastically impacted because the way these regimes are impacting humanity. But don't stop there and call it the news. Don't call it the government. Don't say make America great again, and don't point out the race of the people who's doing it. If you're going to use the small percentage of black people who take each other's life, 0.0001, and conflate it to black on black crime as if that's black identity. If we're going to have these actual conversations.
Yeah. Where you will hear pastors sit down and talk about what a man isn't and what a man needs to be. And if you ask, well, what is a wife? He'll just tell you, well, I'll tell you what submission doesn't mean. Yeah, but what does it mean? I'll tell you what it doesn't mean. This, like, yeah, but can you call half of this place to the mat? And they don't.
Yeah, and that's, I'm really glad that you said that. And that's just not a problem within the Protestant church. That's a problem in society in general. Whether you know, whether in the confinements of.
What'd you say? What do you say?
That's just not a problem within the Protestant church. That's a problem in society in general. Whether.
What did he say, man? Let's play that one more time. One more time, Myron. One more time.
Glad that you said that. And that's just not a problem within the Protestant church. That's a problem in society in general. Whether you know what.
So we have to acknowledge, if you acknowledge and hear that it's what's happening in society in general, it's not just a Protestant church thing, then y'all are race baiting when you point specifically at the black community and you deflect. On Monday, it's the government. On Tuesday, it's black people. And I'll give y'all the benefit of a doubt, and I'll give you grace as well too, because the brainwashing is so severe. The brainwashing has impacted people so drastically that most of us do flip-flop. A lot of us are coming off as weird. A lot of us are coming off as inconsistent. But you can't say that this is happening in society in general and point out the people who's doing it or the infrastructure that's doing it, and then point at the people who are at the bottom of the totem pole and use them to kick down instead of kicking up. You can't kick down and not kick up. You can't say, hey, they doing it, and then point to people at the bottom and go, nah, it's black people's fault. So these are your words. These not Ali's words. So it's very important that when they start having these general conversations, they're pointing to society. They're not talking about black people.
Whether in the confinements of religion or not, like, women's roles nowadays are ambiguous. They can behave like a man when they want. They can behave like a lady when they want. And they're able to kind of what I call the proverbial double.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
They can demand on one end, you better pay for the day and treat me like a lady. But on the other hand, they can say, I'm a boss babe and I don't need to listen to you. And this puts us in a very weird position, because now she wants me to adhere to all my duties, but she's not adhering to hers. She could talk back to me, but I'm responsible for anything if it goes wrong. So I have basically all this responsibility with no authority. And my thing is, whether, you know, it's the advice I dispense with having those 5 things in place with the 50 bodies, certain money, being in shape, etc., or, you know, vetting a girl for 6 to 12 months. My biggest thing is I just want men to be in the position where they are the decider. You want to be monogamous? Fantastic. Do it. You want to have multiple girlfriends? Fantastic. Do it. But you need to be the one dictating how things go, not the women. That's really the only biggest, that's why I do what I do, is so that men understand that they need to be the leaders. And to be the leader, you need to have these things in place and also understand what you're dealing with on the other end, because women of 2025 are no longer the women of 1955, which, you know, guys make this egregious mistake and think that they are.
Yeah, that's where we would differ. For me, the prescription is, yeah, a woman should, and if she does provide those things, it is your duty as a man to honor her, to respect her,
of course,
to provide her, to protect, and I would put in there monogamous.
Yeah.
But you know, I will say that
as long as the guy's making that decision and he's monogamous because he wants to be, I'm cool with it. I just don't want guys being monogamous because their wife tells them, oh, you better be monogamous because X, Y, Z. Like,
well, I understand your problem with it too. Yeah, I understand, because the truth is, if a man commits to monogamy, and again, I fully support monogamy, not like this bigamist over here. I'm half thinking that's how you know it's a cult, if someone gets to bang everyone at the top.
Yeah.
But
that's a power grab.
I will say,
it'd be like the Branch Davidians, man.
Right.
Come on. Yeah. That's what we're here next to Dallas.
There you go. Yeah.
Not too far away from Waco. Like, come on, man.
I don't think you'd want hypergamy with those.
No.
But I will say, like, if you promise monogamy, which I believe should be promised, the problem is you are promising something that is like 80% of the equation for a woman. If you're a man worth, you know, committing to, and we do have to understand relationship dynamics. There is leverage at play sometimes, and you've given that all up. Woman's like, if I know this man is a good man and he is going to be monogamous, I can use it against him. I'll summarize it this way.
Absolutely.
I have, despite what people try to say, you can even look at court records, never laid a hand on a woman, never would. But I've been with women who have been with guys before me who hit them. And I've said this where I've gone, you know what? You know I'm not going to. And the messed up thing is, I know that's being used against me. I know that you're talking to me in a way that you wouldn't to your former Puerto Rican boyfriend or whoever it is.
Yep. Or Jamal.
And you're just like, and so what do you do? Like, it doesn't matter how stern you are. It's like, you can be walked all over. And that is a problem that I think a lot of men just don't know how to solve, where they can be hit, where they can be cheated on. A woman can hit a man, cheat on him, leave him and take half. And so they're checking out. And so I do think that the Protestant church has come up short with a lot of solutions. Now, I certainly wouldn't go to Islam, but
we smack our women. No.
I know a lot of you do.
We should honor them.
Yeah. So I do understand that. I still think that is what we should strive for. And I don't think that going down the path of polyamorous relationships is a solution, but I get it. And I remember going, ooh, the fact that I'm not, because in other words, it's a promise I've made to myself where I'm not going to swat you, where if you were a guy, you'd be going off the balcony, and I know it's used against me.
Yeah. And since and I'm glad you said that, since we can no longer use violence to curb women, shucks. We have to stop it. We have to, oh man, damn it. We have to use something else. And what I always say is the only leverage you have as a man is your ability to walk away. Now, am I saying, guys,
right? And that's what I was getting at.
Run around and smash a bunch of girls or whatever? No, but you being able to not be monogamous is what keeps women in line. Because I always said, when you have other women in line, your girl will be in line and follow what she's supposed to do, because she knows that you can get up and leave because you keep your sexual market value high. You stay the
Can
guy.
we change the language? Because I agree with what do you think maybe it might help if you change the language to, as opposed to like getting what you want? Like, in other words, if you are going to meet her expectations. In other words, like if she gets what she wants, she has to meet expectations. Because women think like, hey,
But you see how like it is truthful of the conversation and the direction it can go. As much as they had these conversations, we don't address the cheating aspect. We don't address the nature. If we're supposed to accept a woman's nature, why are women accepting man's nature? If most men are polygamous and not monogamous by nature, why haven't we accepted their nature? And if a man chooses to engage in monogamy, I agree with Crowder, and he says, I'm gonna honor it. He should honor it. He shouldn't cheat on his woman. He shouldn't lie to his woman. But if we're acknowledging that we're saying most of these modern women are undesirable, most of these modern women don't cooperate, most of these modern women don't cater to their women, don't want to be traditional, wasn't cheating as in all the generations before us what kept families together when most women didn't fulfill their roles to their men? You know, he said women cheat, women leave and take half. I say women to change their mind. Women will leave due to no fault divorce. Women to leave when they want. They don't have to stay loyal to you. But we're telling men to take it. That's a real man. You're supposed to be there for your family. No matter how bad a woman treats you, you're supposed to sacrifice. And if he doesn't everything he's supposed to do, if a man doesn't do everything he's supposed to do, and if he cheats on today's modern woman, he's a horrible man. If he's cheating to get peace to stay in a relationship. And again, don't conflate me to agreeing with cheating. Don't conflate this to man lying. But if y'all were raising nations, and I keep saying this over and over again, you want to keep families together, and we're acknowledging that most of these women are not cooperating with their man or giving the man an actual wife. She's just there for the ring. She's just there for the facade. Wouldn't we want men to keep their families together? Wouldn't we want men to still invest in his family? And if she's doing the bare minimum, he cheats to get peace outside of the relationship so he can stay inside of the relationship. It's very telling, man. We're living in a society. Everything is catered towards a woman, whether she's in a relationship, whether she's single, whether she's a 304, whether she's selling herself, whatever she's doing, we justify it. If she doesn't want to be in shape, if she wants to use filters, if she wants to wear weave, if she wants to wear fake products, if she wants to put makeup on her face, she's always beautiful. But we always holding man to a standard to be real men. When do we break down the fabrics of society and a man and woman's relationships and acknowledge that all of this is completely unbalanced and unfair? How do we accept man to be unhappy and miserable in relationships, doing everything he can for his family, and a woman to still be able to dishonor this man, leave this man when she feels like it, change her mind, and break the entire family to invest in herself? And we have the societies we have now where people have identity issues, where men and women can't even get along. In relationships, we're progressing in our careers, but we're not progressing in relationships. So again, until we're being completely honest about these relationships, until we're being honest by the type of behaviors women are presenting as a whole, based on the behaviors men are presenting as a whole, we're not going to be able to maintain no type of relationships, because the woman always has an out where a man is always expected to stay there. If she leaves, it's for self-love and happiness. If he leaves, he broke his family.
Treating me like a dog, and I understand where you're coming from, but it's true. It's like, hey, we both have expectations. You got to meet yours. You can't hold me to a promise if you're not holding yourself to yours.
Yeah, no, and the problem is that guys don't hold make sure they don't hold the woman to a standard, which is
the legal system forbids it.
Yeah, precisely. And she has every incentive to actually break said contract. So
yeah,
what I tell guys is like, this is why you got it. This is why I'm so big on you. You need to go to the gym. You need to make money. You need to be successful. You need to have all these things in place where you're an attractive man. And most importantly, other men respect you and other women want to be with you. You walk into
enough about me,
and women are looking at you, right? And that helps, because now your girl sees, oh, she's given a constant reminder, oh, I'm with the best that I can get. Because I always look at women as like, they're kind of like, well, they're the buyers, right? So like if you get a car, right, you get a really nice car, right, as the woman, right? I'd like to normally make the women the car with the high mileage, but we can go ahead and do it on the other side. So if she feels like she bought a car, right, and everywhere she goes, this car is getting, people are enamored by it, asking questions like, oh my God, so how'd you get that? Blah, blah, blah. That's that thing is rare, blah, blah, blah. Like she's constantly getting attention and compliments on it, or like people are looking at it. She knows that she got a good deal. But if she's not constantly being reminded that her guy is that guy, she loses attraction a little bit. And that's the thing that's kind of sucks with women, which is another thing I need to tell guys is like, because they don't understand this. Women are attracted to status and women are attracted to men that already have other women. We don't need that because we're decision makers on our own and we're capable of like independent thought. Like if, for example, right, let's say all of us were single, you guys weren't married. If Gerald saw a hot girl and down the street and he was like, oh man, she's hot. And we said, dude, she looks weird. What are you talking about? He'd be like, fuck you guys, I'm going to go talk to her anyway. He doesn't need us to co-sign that girl for him to be attracted to her. Women aren't like that though. They need to, they might be attracted to you, but if they see other women attracted to you, it goes even further. So they need like the community to approve of you. And there's a bunch of biological reasons for that. But
it's a competitive drive.
It's a competitive drive for them. So guys need to be that dude where, and this is where the monogamy thing kicks in. Fine, you want to be monogamous, that's fine. But she needs to know that you could leave her at any second. And I think that's what keeps women in line, because you can't smack them anymore.
What do you? Okay, but let me ask you this, because this is, and I know people will be, no matter how we have this conversation, people will criticize me and you and vice versa. Because I'm totally fine. I'm trying to be as fair as
toxic misogynist.
But does love enter into the equation? By that I mean, let's say, for example, you're General Patton, right? And you're the baddest mofo on the block, the person I can think of. Yep. And then you get hit by a car and you need some help. Are you saying that women would leave that guy because he's not desired by other women at that point? Or do we allow for, hey, knowing that he was that guy and knowing who he is, but sometimes you actually do need to be each other's support structure? Yeah, no, of course. I'll say that, if she's a good girl, she's going to stay by there for you. But I think every woman is going to have a time clock, right? Like how long will she sit there as you're like, disabled, not able to provide and have that security? And I think this is like the more carnal and, bad side of female nature, where women are literally designed to like find the strongest man and align with that. So like if you can no longer provide that security that you used to, it's inevitable that she's going to lose a level of attraction for you at some point. So that's why I always tell guys, like if you lose your job or anything else like that, like don't cry in front of your girl, like figure it out, talk to your guy friends, don't cry to your girl, because women are literally designed to be repulsed by weakness by men, because that affects their security. So like if they see you crying or they see you get beat up by another dude, even though they might say, oh no, open up to me or I'm going to support you, like there's like some visceral reaction in the back of her brain that's going to say, oh, this guy might not be able to protect you. You might, need a change. And I've had so many girls on my show. We've had like 4,000 girls now at this point. But y'all see, this is what I mean by the flip flop. Like we're saying, be a great man, be somebody that she sees as attractive. And at the same time, we say women are repulsed by weakness, but we already acknowledge she's fighting her nature. You attractive for her to be used, and women are saying, "Oh, dude, I see him, I love him too. I want to use him too." She's saying, "I want to use him, I want to get with him, and I want him to leave her." Women are supporting the cheating culture. Women are supporting being weak, men being weak, and being at their worst what is convenient for them. She knows you got a good man. She knows you should respect and honor him. But she wants to be the driver in that seat too. She is, and it's why you don't speak to women as much. It's why you don't talk to
the type of women you used to talk to. Is why you're not marrying as much. Is because you know and they know how it keeps ending up every time you end up in a relationship with a woman. Both men and women know that. This is what men aren't afraid of women anymore. Men are just don't want to risk giving everything to women now because of what women are doing. And so when women are complaining about men not approaching or talking to them, this is why. The man who can't get women, they're willing to be sacrificial lambs, though, over and over again. The man who can get women, we can say, hey, you produce yourself, you'll still get access to women and you ain't got to compromise yourself. But for the majority of men who can't get women, they're going to be sacrificial lambs over and over and over again. And we will keep blaming men instead of acknowledging women are leading the current market. And until they maintain relationships with the man they choose, men aren't leading women anywhere but where they want to go. And that's typically the end of the relationship. We just gotta keep it real. So women want men to be strong when it's convenient for them, and women want men to be weak when it's convenient for them. They emasculate the men that they choose to get with. They break their men and they make their men feel like they're not good enough. And if you're not doing what benefits her, you're gonna lose her. And if you do what benefits her, you're gonna lose her. So this is why I strongly disagree again with Myron, even with Crowder, when they're flip-flopping on their talking points and they don't address the fact that until the quality of the women is addressed, until women enhance their qualities, until women want to be traditional wives, it don't matter how great you are, it don't matter how bad you are, it don't matter how much money you got, it don't matter if you're poor, it don't matter if you're educated or not educated. Most men are no good for no woman, even if they're great men, even if they're horrible men. To most of these women, because of DNV, because of feminism, because of women trying to outcompete men to be better than men, you typically not good for her because she's going to find something wrong with you every single time. And that's majority of women. It's not going to be all women. We know the women who are standing by men, who are supporting them, who are standing by their children, who are pushing for better families, who are righteous women, who are honoring God. And if you don't believe in a God, at least honoring humanity and society and nature. We know those type of women. But for the most part, most of these women are leading with their behinds. Most of these women are leading with their breasts. Most of these women are leading with their mouth. Most of these women are leading with their legs open. They're not bringing a great quality man to the woman, to these men. And we got to be honest about that.
A lot of them say,
you personally?
Yeah, on our show.
On the show, you're different number.
Yeah, girls that we've
You're like Magic Johnson.
Yeah, well, I didn't.
He's not banging.
I mean,
I'm kidding. Magic Johnson, straight as an arrow. Great movie theaters. Please continue.
His son not so straight. But yeah, so like one of the things I've always noticed is like when girls like lose attraction for their guys, there's some like this one pivotal point. It's either he lost his job, he cried in front of her, he showed weakness, and then she just never looked at him the same, and then the attractiveness just dropped off from there. So I'm not saying every girl's going to leave you when you're in that vulnerable position, but there's definitely a time clock that's starting.
So is there ever, because a lot of people say, well, that seems cold and bleak, and I hate to use the word transactional because all relationships are transactional to some degree.
Sure.
But is there a scenario where appropriate, assuming confines, assuming expectations have been met, where a man can be vulnerable or should be to trust that woman? Can she ever cross that threshold in your mind?
I think vulnerable, but in ways that won't necessarily hurt you. So like, if you have a dog and she sees how much you love your dog and how you show so much affection to it, and she sees the soft side, that's a good way, right? We're being vulnerable because it shows like your caretaking ability, or with your children, playing with them and showing that you can be a very loving father. I think this is good. But like when it comes to like you as a guy, like crying or showing any type of weakness, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about these bills, blah, blah. I think most women would prefer for you to just solve the problem silently on the side and she doesn't even know about it, then bring that problem to her and have her help you with it. Now, am I saying that she'll leave you? Of course not. No, right. She'll be like, yeah, let's go at this together. Where it's us against the world. Someone will embrace it and love it. Yeah. But you don't know because every girl's different. And until they're met with that problem, you don't know how they're going to respond. So I look at it like, why roll the dice, right? We were talking about revolvers earlier. Why play Russian roulette with your relationship, right? Why, if you don't have to? Because women respond so strongly to security or a lack of it. I wouldn't even chance it.
Yeah. And I think men respond in kind of to stability that's created by the woman in the home. That's a really big thing. I mean, either you're out sowing your wild oats, but when a man settles down, like he's only settling down because he wants stability in his house that he doesn't get from the world, and that's super important. That's both sides of the equation. And
for her to have to feel like the house is going to be stable, she needs to know that you're stable too, because you're the reason why she has the roof over her head. So like, I look at it like when you have your problems, your masculine problems, you should always go to your guy friends with it, never to your girl or to your woman.
That's another video breakdown that I try to provide for y'all, man. Hopefully we can all come to some type of conclusions by what they're talking about as well too. But I just want to make people acknowledge the fact that majority of people in today's society, I say, man, are playing Russian roulette with today's women, you know, and it's asking, man, why roll the dice? Why cut the cake? Why take the bait? Why throw out the reel? Why take the shot? Why dive all the way in? When majority of time it leads to the demise of a man, and it compromises the relationship, and it compromises who he is as a person. And I can get both their perspectives, but at the end of the day, it's very difficult in a system where if a man does honor a woman, put a ring on her finger and marries her, she always has the ability to get out scot-free. And it hurts the man at the end of the day. It leaves the man without half of his assets. It leaves the man having to leave his kids. It leaves the man without a two-parent household, and she gets to pick for both of them to be single parents. She gets to pick for the direction of where his life is going now, and regardless to the relationship he wanted. Most men want to have families. Most men want a woman to love them. Most men love women. So until society transforms back into a position where it benefits man, woman, and children to stay together, and the incentive is for the woman to love and honor her man, most of what's going to happen in society is men and women are going to keep breaking each other, or a man is going to keep being broken by majority of sisters, and the sister will say a man took advantage of her and manipulated her because he got what he wanted, when he already told you the truth and you were fighting back on that, or you got the entire relationship and you changed as a woman. And again, I'm not taking away from the men that mistreat women and disrespect and lie to women and dishonor women. I'm talking about the majority of men who will do anything they can to be with women and to love a woman and want a woman. It's our purpose, and that's innate in us. We love doing for a woman. We love creating solutions for a woman. But who's saying they don't need a man? Who's saying they don't need to be married? Who's saying they don't need kids? Who's saying they do better by themselves? Who say that women are happiest ever in any generation because they're single and marriageless and childless? That's what they're pushing. You can't tell women, tell society, women can't keep telling us they're the happiest they are when they're childless, unmarried, and single, but then telling men to fight to be married to them and have families with them and have babies with them. But on another note, man, I'll see y'all on another one. Hope y'all enjoyed this live, man. I'm gonna try to keep pushing out some videos, man. That I see, interesting. I want to start off with processing what they're speaking about, because it's evident that they didn't speak on Black women in this conversation. They were speaking on the general population of women. And I still want to know why it's convenient to talk about Black women when we start talking about women, instead of address the fact that majority of women are doing this to their men. So I'll see y'all on the next one, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. Much love from the Untouchable Empire,
baby.
Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure y'all share. We're going to keep trying to take y'all to the next level. We're going to keep trying to get the channel to grow, and we'll be going live today at 5 o'clock Eastern time. This will be a video I did before the show starts at 5 o'clock. So stay tuned, man. We're going to try to get better. We're going to try to bring you more information. We're going to try to bring y'all more serious conversations. We're going to try to work on our delivery. We're going to try to stop talking less. I know I'm playing with y'all. Right? Oh shit! It's the talking less part, man. We gonna be talking a lot, and if you don't like it, just exit out the room. Go watch somebody else. Go watch your favorite content creators. But again, man, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I'll see y'all on the next one. Much love to y'all, man.